Baiklah, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oke, pada kesempatan kali ini kita akan eh, belajar ya bersama-sama menggunakan FreeCodeCamp. Ya, kali ini kita akan mempelajari ini ya, challenge untuk menjadi atau menguasai responsive web design certification ya, sertifikasi untuk menjadi seorang untuk membuat responsive web design. Oke, ini saya sama sekali belum pernah mencoba, jadi mungkin kita sama-sama belajar ya di sini. Oke, langsung saja. In this responsive web design certification, you learn the language that developers use to build web page. Jadi kita mempelajari apa bahasa yang digunakan oleh developer web itu untuk membangun website. Itu ada HTML, Hypertext Markup Language untuk konten, dan CSS untuk desain. Oke, pertama-tama kamu akan membangun kamu akan membuat foto kucing ya, aplikasi foto kucing ya, cat photo app, sebuah aplikasi foto kucing untuk mempelajari basic dari HTML dan CSS. Selanjutnya kamu akan mempelajari teknik ya modern seperti CSS variable by building a penguin and the best practice for accessibility by building web form. Oke, jadi setelah mempelajari HTML dilanjutkan dengan mempelajari CSS. Finally, akhirnya you learn how to make web page that respond to different screen size by building a Twitter card with flag box and complex block layout with CSS grid. Nah, ini project akhirnya adalah kita membuat halaman web yang bisa responsif terhadap berbagai ukuran layar ya, mungkin bisa dibuka di handphone, bisa sesuai dan lain-lain. Building a Twitter card box ya, membuat card Twitter menggunakan flexbox, dan juga membuat block layout yang kompleks menggunakan CSS grid ya. Kita akan belajar menggunakan CSS grid dan juga flexbox. Oke, sangat menarik sekali. Oke, sekali lagi saya ulangi, saya di sini juga masih belajar ya, jadi sama sekali belum pernah mencoba nih. Jadi ini video ini saya buat ya sebenarnya untuk mendokumentasikan ya saya belajar aja sebenarnya, seperti itu. Oke. Some browser extensions such as adblocker and dark mode extension can interface this test. Oke, jadi beberapa browser itu akan bermasalah ya. If face issues, we recommend disabling extension that modify the content or layout of page while taking the course. Ya, nanti mungkin ada masalah di browser. Nah, itu harus ada beberapa yang harus dimodifikasi. Oke. Oke, langsung saja. Di sini ada beberapa materi ya. Basic HTML, basic CSS, visual design, accessibility, responsive web design, principle, CSS flagbox, CSS grid, responsive web design project. Oke, ini akan sangat menarik ya. Mungkin kita coba yang basic HTML dulu. Oke, jadi HTML adalah bahasa markup ya. Jadi dia sebuah bahasa yang menggunakan penanda ya, that use a special syntax, yang menggunakan syntax spesial atau notation to describe structure of web page. Dan dia menggambarkan atau mendeskripsikan struktur web itu menggunakan syntax tertentu. HTML element usually have opening and closing tags that surround and give meaning to the content. For example, different element can describe text as heading, paragraph, or list. Jadi akan ada HTML elemen ya yang digunakan untuk membangun web tadi. Elemen HTML tadi bisa berarti dia sebuah heading, bisa diartikan sebuah paragraf, list, dan lain-lain. Pada kursus ini kamu akan membangun sebuah aplikasi foto kucing ya untuk pelajari elemen HTML yang umum. ya. Jadi akan dipelajari elemen HTML umum yang digunakan untuk membangun aplikasi standar lah ya, mungkin ya, the building blocks of any web page. Jadi ini dasar dari membangun web ya, HTML kita akan pelajari. Oke, langsung saja yang pertama, say hello to HTML element. Welcome to FreeCodeCamp HTML Coding Challenge ya. Terima kasih. This will walk you through web development step by step. Okay, first you'll start by building a simple web page using HTML. You can edit code in your code editor, which is embedded into this web page. Okay, do you see the code in your code editor that says hello? Ya, ini ada di sini. Kita lihat di kode editor kita ya. Jadi mungkin baru yang pertama kali ya, yang baru pertama kali menggunakan FreeCodeCamp, ini ada kode editor, ini tampilan hasilnya. Jadi kode ini menghasilkan output di web browser seperti ini. Maksudnya seperti itu. Most HTML element have an opening tag and closing tag ya. Jadi kebanyakan elemen HTML itu ya. Jadi kita akan mempelajari elemen-elemen HTML. Jadi setiap elemen HTML itu diawali dengan tag pembuka dan tag penutup. Nah, ini contohnya, tag pembukanya adalah H1, tag penutupnya adalah /H1. Ini mengartikan dia adalah sebuah heading. Heading itu ya title lah ya. Ini hello. Nah, kita lihat di sini hello-nya ditulis dalam huruf besar ya, karena heading H1. Oke. Contohnya ini opening tag. Tag itu penanda ya. Ini tag, ini yang dikatakan tag, ini tag H1, ini closing tag H1. Jadi kebanyakan ya, berarti tidak semua ya, hampir semua elemen itu HTML itu diawali dengan tag pembuka dan diakhiri dengan tag penutup. Tapi ada nanti ya elemen HTML yang tidak perlu tag penutup ya. Jadi hanya tag pembuka saja ada. Tapi kebanyakan pasti ada tag pembuka dan tag penutup. The only difference between opening and closing tag is the forward slash. Jadi bedanya tag pembuka dan tag penutup adalah dibedakan dengan slash seperti ini. Oke. Each challenge has test you can run at any time by clicking the run test button. Jadi nanti ada tesnya. Di tiap tes itu bisa kita kita tes dengan menjalankan run test button. Nanti ada tombol run test. Jadi kalau kita ada tugas atau ada diminta membuat apa, menuliskan coding, di sini kita tuliskan lalu kita run test untuk mengujinya ya. When you pass all tests, you will be prompt to submit your solution and go to the next coding challenge. Jadi kalau sudah benar, nanti akan lanjut ke challenge selanjutnya. To pass the test on this challenge, change your H1 elements text to say hello world. Text to say hello world. Ya, ini kita diminta untuk merubah ini agar elemen H1 ini menjadi hello world. Ya, berarti kita tinggal tambahkan saja ya hello world. Ini kalau sudah kira-kira sudah benar, kita run test. Oke, benar ya. Oke, kita submit dan go to the next challenge. Ini bisa di-download juga rupanya. Kalau di-download hasilnya apa? Oh ya, ini ya, hasil codingan kita tadi. Oke, benar ya. Kita submit saja, kita lanjut ke materi selanjutnya, challenge selanjutnya ya. Headline with the H2 element. Jadi kita buat judul ya atau topik menggunakan elemen H2. Nah, tadi kita gunakan H1, sekarang kita gunakan H2. H2 ya, dia elemennya heading ya atau topik, judul, tapi dia lebih kecil ya, kalau nggak salah lebih kecil ya. Over the next few lesson we'll build an HTML5 cat photo web app piece by piece. Jadi kita akan membuat aplikasinya sebagian demi sebagian ya. The H2 element view will be adding in this step will add a level to heading to the web page. Jadi kita akan menambahkan heading. This element tells the browser about the structure of your website. Jadi elemen ini akan meminta browser ya untuk about the structure of your website. H1 itu digunakan untuk heading, H2 digunakan untuk subheading. Jadi kalau ada judul, ada subjudul, nah itu H1 adalah judulnya, H2 adalah subjudul atau subheading di sini dikatakan. Ada lagi H3, H4, H5 dan 6 adalah subheading di bawahnya. Jadi semakin besar angkanya dia semakin kecil ya. H1 paling besar, lalu subheadingnya H2 dan seterusnya sampai H6. Nah, di sini tugasnya adalah kita diminta untuk menambahkan H2 tag yang mengatakan get photo app to create a second HTML element below your word H1 element. Oke, jadi kita diminta di bawah ini kita menambahkan tag bernama H2 ya. Lalu di H2 ini tulisannya adalah get photo app ya. Kita tutup dengan H1. Oke, nah ini ya, ini judul besar ya, ini subjudul lebih kecil. Oke, permintaannya hanya itu. Kita run test apakah benar. Your H2 element should have a closing tag. Oh ini ya, bukan H1, ini H2. Oke, kita tes lagi. Nah benar ya, gampang ini ya. Kita lanjut lagi. Inform with the paragraph element. Oke, kali ini kita akan mempelajari atau membuat paragraf ya. Kalau sudah ada judul, subjudul biasanya isinya dalam bentuk paragraf. P adalah elemen untuk menyatakan paragraf, teks paragraf pada website kita. Jadi kalau kita ingin menuliskan teks paragraf ya, gunakan tag bernama tag P. P is short for paragraph. Okay, you can create a paragraph element like this. So the opening tag is P and the closing tag is /P. And we can write I'm a P tag. Tanda seru ya. Create a P element below your H2 element and give it the text in the paragraph. Jadi kita buat aplikasi paragraf atau kita membuat elemen P di bawah elemen H2 ya. Ini tugasnya ya, kita membuat paragraf di bawah elemen H2 kemudian tambahkan teks yaitu hello paragraph. Oke, kita buat opening tag, so we can write hello paragraph and then we can write the closing tag for P/P. Okay, and this is the display in the browser. This is a note. As a convention, all HTML tags are written in lowercase. Okay, the tag is always written in lowercase, but it can still running if we write this on P capital. It's also can run, but the convention is the tag is written in lowercase. Okay, so we run the test. Okay, right, then we can submit and go to the next challenge. Okay, become a supporter of non-profit, confirm your donate. Okay, ask me later. Okay, next, fill in the blank with placeholder text placeholder. Web developer traditionally use lorem ipsum text as placeholder text. The lorem ipsum text is randomly scraped from a famous passage by Cicero of ancient Rome. Lorem ipsum text has been used as placeholder text by typesetter since the 16th century, and this tradition continues in the web. Okay, so we can use a text lorem ipsum to fill our placeholder. Well, 5 centuries is long enough, since we are building a cat photo app, let's use something called Kitty Ipsum. Okay, now we can use the different style Kitty Ipsum. It's just for the difference, because we use this text since the 16th century. So the Freecode Camp tried to make a difference, to change the text by Kitty Ipsum text. This is the task. Replace the text inside your P element. So we will replace the text in the P element with the first few words of this Kitty Ipsum. The first few words of Kitty Ipsum text. So this we can copy. We can select this text, then copy and paste here in the inside the P text. Paste Control V. Okay, this is the paragraph. Okay, is it right? Yes, this is right. Go to the next challenge, and comment HTML. Commenting is a way that you can leave comments for other developers within your code without affecting the resulting output that is displayed to the end user. Okay, we can use comment to give explanation for the line of our program. Okay, commenting is also convenient way to make code inactive without having to delete it entirely. So the comment is usually used to give a comment to the line of code, but it also can be used to disable or to inactive the code without delete the code entirely. So we can use this we can use command to inactive the code without deleting the code. So but it is actually used to give comment or explanation for our program, for our line of code. So comment in HTML start with less than question mark and then dash dash, and end with dash dash. What is stripped up ya? Dash ya, dash dash bigger than. Okay, this is the task, uncomment your h1, h2 and p elements. Okay, this is the command mark, so we can delete this, and this is the end of command. So we can run the test. Okay, it's right. Go to the next challenge, comment out HTML. Okay, before we uncomment in the previous task, we asked to uncomment the program, and after that in this challenge kita diminta ya, we ask for give a comment to our HTML code. Remember that in order to start a comment you need to use this symbol, and to end a comment you need to use this symbol. Here you'll need to end the comment before your h2 element begins. comment out your h1 element and your p element but not your h2 element. Okay, your h1 element should be commented so that it is not visible in the page. Your h2 element should not be commented out. Okay, we can use this element maybe. Okay, it's comment out H element and P. Okay, we can open here and we close here. So, but not your H2 element. Okay, the first element H1 we comment it, and the last element, the third element, we comment it, the paragraph, yeah. But the H2 element we uncomment. Okay, run the test. Is it right? Okay, submit and go to the next challenge. Delete HTML element. Our phone doesn't have much vertical space. Let's remove the unnecessary element so we can start building our cat photo. Delete your h1 element so we can simplify our view. Okay, we asked to delete this line of code. Run the test. Okay, that's right. Introduction to HTML5 element. There are many new elements of HTML5. Here we will learn about the element of HTML5. HTML5 introduces more descriptive HTML tags. These include main, header, footer, nav, video, article, section, and others. This tag give a descriptive structure to your HTML, make your HTML easier to read, and help with search engine optimization. Okay, this is the new okay, the new tag, more descriptive, main, header, footer, nav, video, article, session, and others. This is the HTML5 new tags. It's more descriptive than tag before. This tag gives a descriptive structure to your HTML, make your HTML easier to read, and help with search engine optimization and accessibility. The main HTML5 tag helps search engine and other developers find the main content of your page. Example: a main element with two child elements nested inside it. Okay, this is the main, close and close with slash main, and this is the first line h1, and this is the second line paragraph. Many of the benefit are covered in the apply. Create a second p element with the following key if so. Okay, we asked to make a new paragraph with the comment inside it. I will copy paste this. Okay, is it right? Your code should have one main element, main, then create main element and next element inside the main. Okay, create a second p element with the following. This is the p element, this is the text, then create a main element, nest only the two p element inside the main element. Okay, maybe here. we can make an element and close with slash main. Is it right? Okay, maybe. Okay, go to the next challenge. Add image to your website. So we can add image to our website by using EMG elements and point to a specific image URL using the SRC attribute. An example, this is the example, EMG space SRC equals the link of our image. Note that image elements are self-closing. Nah, this is the example of self-closing image. It means the tag EMG does not need the closing tag. So not all of the tags in HTML need to be closed, but some tag don't need to be closed. It is called self-closing element, a self-closing tag. All image element must have an alternative attribute. The next inside out attribute is used for screen readers to improve accessibility and is displayed if the image fails to load. So the alt attribute here is for image tag used to for the readers. So it will appear when the image doesn't appear, or before the image appear a few milliseconds, and also will appear in the web browser if the image is failed to load. It is important to have the user know about what does the image is. Okay, I forgot to shut down my server. Excuse me. Okay, shut down now. Fail. Sudo. Okay. It has been shut down. Okay, continue our journey. Note, if the image is purely decorative, using an empty alt attribute is a best practice. Ideally, the alt attribute should not contain special character unless needed. Let's add an alt attribute to our image example above. Alt attribute business cat wearing a necktie. Let's try to add an image to our website. This is the task. Add image to our website. Within the existing main element, insert an image element before the existing P. Add image within the existing main element. Okay, insert image element before the existing P element. Okay, image element here before the P element. Now set the SRC attribute so that it points to current URL. Okay, so image SRC, we copy this link. Okay, Finally, don't forget to give your image element attribute. Okay, alternatif ini, this is the picture of cute cat. Okay. Test right. Link to external page with anchor element. Okay, we continue our study. The next challenge is link to external page with anchor elements. You can use a anchor elements to link the content outside of your web page. So to link to content outside our web page, we can use tag a anchor. A elements need destination web address called an href attribute. So when we want to use a elements or tag a, we need attribute called href. They also need anchor tags. Here's an example. Here is the a elements and then the attribute href, and this is the external link, elements link http freecodecamp.org. This links to freecodecamp.org. Okay, link to external web page. Or to add a link to in our website, we can use h element, or it is called anchor, with the attribute href. Okay, then your browser will display the text. This links to FreeCodeCamp. In the browser will appear this link, this text. This links to freecodecamp.org as a link, display as a link that we can click, and that link will take you to the web address FreeCodeCamp. Okay, create an anchor element that links to freecatphotoapp.com and has a cat photo as its anchor text. Okay. Okay, we can add here anchor element which href attribute, and the link is, we can copy the link http freecatphotoapps.com. Okay, then we can close and then add the text cat photos. Okay, then close the anchor element /a. This is the result in the web browser. Cat photo. When we click this link, so the text display as a link, will display as a link that we can click, and when we can click this link, it's go to the cat photo and freecatphotoapp.com. Okay, this is the result. Okay, we can run the test, so it's right. And the next challenge, link to internal session of a page with anchor elements. We can see this example like Wikipedia. When we click the link, it is linked to the internal session in a page. Internal session of a page. We can use anchor elements Anchor element also can be used to create internal links to jump to different session within a web page. To create an internal link, you assign a link's href attribute to a hash symbol. Okay, we use a href attribute to a hash symbol plus the value of the ID. Okay, the value of the ID. So the href we fill with hashtag and plus the value of the ID. Okay, attribute for the element that you want to internal link to, usually further down the page. This is used when the page is very long, so we can we want to add a link to link to this page, maybe the subheadings, etc. You then need to add the same ID. You then need to add the same ID attribute to the element you are linking to. So we identified the ID of element that we add in this page, then which anchor elements we can add attributes href with the hashtag, but then the ID of that element. An ID is an attribute that uniquely describes an element. ID is unique. Below is an example of an internal anchor link and its target element. This is the anchor element, which the attribute. This is the ID name of the element. This is the text for the anchor element, and this is the element that have ID called context header. So this is the ID of the element. This is h2 element. We add here within plus the hashtag in the beginning of the ID name. This is contact 2. When users click the contact, they'll be taken to the session of the web page with the context header element. Okay, contact header element. When user click this link, the session of the web page, they will be taken to this text. Okay, the challenge is change your external link to an internal link by changing the href attribute footer and the text from cat photos to jump to bottom. Remove the target blank attribute from the anchor tag. Since discuss the link document, open a new tab window. Then add an ID attribute with the value of footer to add footer element of the bottom page. Okay, this is the footer. Change your external link to an internal link by changing href attribute to. Okay, where is the external link? This is the external link. We can change it with footer. Footer attribute footer, and the text from the cat photo jump to bottom. Jump to bottom. Okay, remove the target blank and remove it. Target blank means it will be opened in a new tab. We remove it and then add an ID attribute with the value of footer to the tag footer element. Okay, in this in the bottom we see a footer element. We add ID for this element. The ID is footer, right? Do we need the double quotes? Maybe. Yes, we need the double quotes, and this too we need double ketik dua double quotes. Yeah. Okay, we can try this link. Click. Okay, copyright cat photo, footer ID, footer app. Yes, when we click this link, it jump to the footer element. This is the footer element. Copyright cat photo. Okay, run the test. The A text should not have a target attribute. Okay, the target attribute. Okay, the target also we need to remove it all, not only the value but the attribute with the value. We remove it, then click. Okay, it's the same result. Run the test and it's right. Go to the next challenge. Nest an anchor element within a paragraph. So an anchor element also we can use an anchor element inside a paragraph. You can nest links within other text elements. In this example, we use p paragraph with the text here is a blah 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 link. This is we want add the link in this part of paragraph. So anchor element, a element, we add target blank, and then the attribute href, external link or internal link, link to www.freecodecamp.org. Okay, here's a link of www for you to follow. Let's break down the example. Normal text is wrapped in here is blah 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 for you to follow. Next is anchor element A, which requires a closing tag. Okay, we add this anchor element in this paragraph. Target is an anchor. The tag attribute is where to open the link. So the target is where to open the link. When we add a blank, it will be open in the new browser. The value blank specify to open a link in a new tab. Okay, in a new tab. There is an anchor tag attribute that contains the URL address of the link. Okay, the text link within the element is called anchor text. When we called anchor text, this is the anchor text, the text that display in the web browser as a link. It is called anchor text. The final output of the example will look like this. Okay, here is a link to Freecodecamp for you to follow. This is the output. Next, the existing as A element within the new P element the new paragraph should have text that say view more cat photos, where cat photo is a link and the rest is a plain text. Cat photo is a link, the rest is okay. We add here, we add paragraph. In the paragraph, the text is view more, then cat photo is a link, so can add as element, okay, with the closing element. The text is cat photos, okay, and the href is the link of the cat photo. The link of the cat photo is, where is the link of the cat photo? Maybe this lah, this link, external link. It's just an example. You can add the link to add photo, cat photo. Oh, this is the freecatphoto.com. You can use this free cat photo. View more cat photo. This is the text, this is the anchor text, this is the link for the anchor text. When we click this, it will be redirect to the link, this link, http://freecatphoto.com. So is it right? You should only have one H element. Okay, the A element should link to FreeCode. Okay, your element should have the anchor text cat photo. Okay, element there should be at least 3 total p tags in your HTML code. You should only have one A element. Next. Target blank ya, target blank. No. You should only have one element. Benar lah ini. Do we need to remove this? Okay, you should create a new p element. There should be at least 3 total p tags in your HTML. You should create a new p element. There should be at least 3 total p. Okay, 3 total p. 1, 2, 3. This is the link. Oh, I can remove this and then okay, view more paragraph. This is the paragraph. Closing. View more. Maybe this. View more. View more cat photos. Okay. Okay. Go to the next challenge. 43%. Make dead links using the hash symbol. Okay, we can add a dead link using hash symbol. Sometimes you want to add a element to your website before you know where they will link. Okay, this is also handy when you are changing the behavior of a link using JavaScript, which we'll learn about later. The current value of the href attribute is a link that points to http freecatphotoapp.com. Replace the href with the hashtag symbol, also known as a hash symbol, to create a dead link. Okay, for example, href is a hashtag. Okay, hash link is a hash. Okay, we can add like this. So when we click this for the code camera, blank. Okay, hrefnya blank. Yes, that link using hash symbol. Turn an image into a link. An image also can become a link. You can make element into a link by nesting them within an A element. Nest your image within an A element. Here is an example. A element, href, hash symbol, and then not a text but an image with the search, then the alternative, it means it will appear when the image is failed or image before the image shown in the web browser. Okay, this is the closing A element. Remember to use hashtag as hash as your A elements href property in order to turn it into a dead link. Okay, we want a dead link, but the link is display image as a link. Place the existing image with element within an A anchor element. Once you've done this, hover over your image with your cursor. Your cursor normal pointer should become the link clicking pointer. The photo is now a link. Place the existing image element within a anchor. Okay, this we want to add this image as an anchor, as a link. So okay, I close this with /a. The link is that link. That link here. Okay, so when we hover over the image element, the mouse, the pointer become hand, like a link. Okay, and I like stingcat. Okay, you can run this. Okay, it's right. Create a bullet and other list. Okay, next challenge. HTML has a special element for creating an order list, a bullet point style list. An order list start with an opening. An order list element UL ya, UL followed by any number of li elements. Finally, another list close with slash ul. For example, ul close with end with slash ul, and then the list the first is milk, the second is cheese, close with slash li would create a bullet point style list of milk and cheese. Okay, another list mean not a number list ya, not order list like 1 2 3, but this is maybe a symbol like bullet ya. Remove the last 2p elements and create an another list of 3 things that gets love at the bottom. Remove the last 2 elements and create another list. Okay, you can copy this and then I can add this 3 things. Fish, fleece, play, and the last element is fish, rice. Okay, this is the example of an order list. Default is a bullet symbol. An order list. Okay, run test. Yes, that's right. Go to the next challenge. Create an order list. Okay, before we can create in the previous challenge, we can create an order list. Now we want to add order list in our web cat photo app. HTML has another special element for creating order lists or number lists. Order list is start with an opening order list element followed by any number of li elements. Finally, order lists are closed within the slash ol. Ol is order list tab. For example, this ol order list. This is the list Garfield, Sylvester. Would create a number of lists of Garfield and Sylvester. Create another list of the top 3 things that hate the most. Okay. You should have another list for top 3 inside things that get hate. Okay, we can copy this. Add top 3 things get hate. Okay, here we paste here, and then things get hate is water, and then the second is dog, and the last list is cat hate the boss. Okay, this is the other list 1 2 3. We can run the test. Of course it's right. Submit to the next challenge. Create a text field. Okay, now let's create a web form. Now let's create a web form. Okay, input elements are a convenient way to get input from user. Okay, you can create a text input like this. Input type text, Note that the input elements are self-closing. Okay, the input tag or input elements is one example of self-closing, mean not need it do not need a closing tag. This is the challenge. Create an input element of type text below your list. So below your list, this is the list. Below the list is we can create input type text. Okay, it is do not need do not need a closing tag. This is the example of input type text. So we run this. Okay, of course it's right. Submit. Go to the next challenge. Add a placeholder text. Placeholder is text, yeah, to a text field. Placeholder text is what is displayed in your input. Okay, what is displayed in your input? Okay, inside the input type text we can add placeholder before your user has input anything. You can create placeholder to text like so. Input text, input type text, placeholder. This is a placeholder text. Now remember that input elements are self-closing. Okay, set the placeholder value of your text input cat photo URL. Okay, we can add here placeholder cat photo URL. Okay, yes, this is the cat photo URL. This is placeholder, so the user know what the input should be filled. We can run the test. Okay, go to the next challenge. Create a form element. Okay, you can build web form that actually submit data to a server using nothing more than pure HTML. You can build web form that actually submit data to a server using nothing more than pure HTML. You can do this by specifying action attribute on your form element. The form is one of the most important element. It is used when we want to add data to our server or to our database, but we can add action attribute on our form element. For example, this is the form tag of form element. We can add action attribute. This attribute is filled with URL you want to submit for the data for the server, yeah. Then the input is here, yeah. Next, the existing input element inside the form element and assign link this link to the action attribute to the form element. Okay, next the existing input element. Next the existing, this is the existing input element. Okay, we place this element inside the form element. This is the form element. We close with the slash form, yeah. And then in the form element we can add action. The action is where the action will be, where the data will be sent to. This will be sent to this link, for example. Okay, you can run the test. Yes, right. Add a submit button to a form. uh, when we use a form, usually there is a submit button. This is how to add a submit button. Let's add a submit button to your form. Clicking this button will send the data from your form to the URL you specified with your form's action attribute. Here's an example of submit button. Button element, type submit. This is the text. This button submit the form. Okay, add this is the challenge. Add a button as the last element of your form element with a type of submit, and submit as a text. Okay, last element. This is the last element. We add button. Button slash button submit. The text is submit, and the button is type-nya adalah, the type is submit to submit. Okay, button type submit, the text is submit. Okay, this is the submit button. Okay, click. Okay, run a test. Use your form should have a button. Oh, inside our the button is inside our form. You can cut this and add here. Okay, okay, inside the form. Okay, thank you. We will review your submitted response and reply if need. Okay. Thank you, you're welcome. Okay, this is the link of this submit. Okay, submit get photo. Okay, thank you. Okay. Use HTML5 to require a field. You can require specific form fields so that your user will not be able to submit your form until he or she has filled them out. For example, if you want to make a text input, field required, you can just add the attribute required within your input element like this. Input type text required. Okay, this is the challenge. Make your text input a required field so that user can submit the form without completing this field. Okay, then try to submit the form without inputting any text. See how your HTML5 form notifies you to the field as required. This is the feature of HTML5 required. Okay, where is the input? The input is here, and then we can add this input required. Okay, then we try to not adding anything. We click submit. Okay, please fill out this field. Okay, please fill out this field. Okay, we will review your submit response and reply if need. Okay. Okay. Yes. Of course, right. Go to the next challenge. Create a set of radio buttons. Radio button is for the multiple choice, like the multiple choice. You can use radio button for question where you want to use to only give you one answer out of multiple options. Radio button are type of input. Okay, input type text, input type radio button. Each of your radio buttons can be nested within its own label. So the radio button element can be nested inside the label element. By wrapping an input element inside a label element, it will automatically associate the button input with the label element surrounding it. Okay, all related radio buttons should have the same name attribute. Okay, all related radio buttons should have the same name attribute. Okay, to create a radio button group, okay, the radio button should have the same name. A radio button that have related. By creating a radio group, selecting any single radio button will automatically select the other button. Okay, within the same group, ensuring only one answer is provided by the user. Here is an example of radio button. Okay, label input type radio, name indoor outdoor, indoor. Okay, it is considered best practice to set a for attribute on the label element with a value that match to the value of the ID attribute of the input element. This allows assistive technology to create a link relationship between the label and the related input element. For example, input ID indoor, type radio, name indoor outdoor, label for indoor. We can also nest the input element within the label text. Label for indoor, ID indoor. Okay, this is the challenge. Add a pair of radio button to your form, each nested in its own label. It is nested in its own label element. One should have the option of indoor and the other should have the option of the outdoor. Both should share the same name attribute, indoor outdoor, to create a radio group. Okay, add a radio button to your form. So inside the form we can add a label, label for indoor. Okay, input ID nya indoor, type nya adalah, the type is radio mean radio button. The name, so this is the group ya, indoor outdoor. Indoor outdoor, and then indoor outdoor, then closed with slash label. The result. Okay, this is the radio button here inside the form element. Inside the form element. Your page should have two radio button element. Okay. Outdoor, ID nya outdoor, type radio button indoor outdoor. Okay, your radio button should give name attribute indoor outdoor. Each of your element should be nested in its own label element. Each your label element should have a closing tag each your label have one of your variable should have the label indoor, one of your variable should have outdoor. Each of the button elements should be added within the from tag. Okay, it should be right. Okay, run the test. Each your two button should be nested in its own label element. Each of your two ready button elements should be nested in its own label element. This is the label element for indoor. This is the slash label. Slash label, bro. This is the slash label. Okay. The result is here. Click. Okay. Run the test. One of your ready button should have the label indoor. Label outdoor. Indoor outdoor. Indoor outdoor. Label for indoor. Label for outdoor. Indoor. Label for outdoor. Oh, label name. This is the label name. We not add a label name yet. Input. The label name is indoor. This is the label name is outdoor. Okay. Indoor, outdoor. Run the test. Yes, it's right. Create a set of checkbox. Checkbox is for checkbox. Forms commonly use checkbox. Form commonly use checkbox for question that may have more than one answer. Okay, checkbox are type of input. Okay, input type checkbox. Each of your checkbox can be nested within its own label element by wrapping an input element inside a label. Element will automatically associate the checkbox input with the label element surrounding it. All related checkbox input should have the same name attribute. Okay, the name attribute should be the same. It is considered best practice to explicitly define the relationship between the checkbox input and its corresponding label by setting the for attribute on the label element to match the ID attribute of the associated input element. Here is an example. Label for loving, input ID loving, type checkbox, name personality, input label is loving. Add to your form a set of 3 checkbox. Each checkbox should be nested within its own label element. All 3 should share the name of personality. Okay, we can add this. The checkbox. Inside the form. Okay, inside the form can add checkbox label for loving. Label loving. Okay, this is the closing label tag for the label closing. This is the input. Input type-nya ada, the type is type checkbox Tap checkbox, ID the first is loving, ya. ID loving. The text is loving. Okay, this is the label, and the result is like this. Loving. Label. Okay, it should be here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Loving, personality, anger, that is anger, the for passion, okay, this is the result. Loving, anger, passion. Loving, anger, passion. Loving, anger, passion. Lantas, your checkbox should be given the name attribute personality. Okay, the name attribute, I forgot to add attribute name for the input. Name, this is for grouping, ya. Personality, lowercase, personality, name, personality, name, personality. Okay, nothing will change. Okay, we can run the test. So it's like 82%. Okay, let's go. Use the value attribute with ready button and checkbox. When a form gets submitted, the data is sent to the server and include entries for the option selected. Okay, inputs of type ready and checkbox report their value from the value attribute. For example, label for indoor, the value is indoor. Okay, type radio, name indoor, outdoor, label for outdoor, ID outdoor, value outdoor. Here you have two ready button inputs. When the user submit the form with the indoor option selected, the form data will include the line indoor outdoor equal indoor. Option select, the form data will include the line indoor outdoor equal indoor. This is from the name and value attribute of the indoor input. If you omit the value, omit if you omit the value attribute, the submitted form data use the default value which is on. In this scenario, if the user click indoor option and submitted the form, the resulting form data will be indoor outdoor equal on, which is not useful, so the value attribute needs to be set to something to identify the option. Okay, give each of the radio button, give of the radio and checkbox inputs the value attribute. Use the input label text in lowercase as the value of the attribute. Okay, we should add value to our input, to our radio button or checkbox. Go. The first is for the radio button, input value. The value is indoor. Label outdoor, the value is outdoor. Okay, for the loving, the value is loving. For the label lazy, okay, the value is lazy. And for the last checkbox, personality, energetic, the value is should be energetic too. Okay, the display on the web will not be changed, but the form will send to the server the data like this: indoor outdoor equal indoor or outdoor. Or for the personality, when we choose laughing in the checkbox, or laughing and lazy will be sent to the server, but the name first. Personality is lazy, personality is laughing and lazy. Okay, run the test. One of your checkbox should have the value attribute of energetic value energetic. Oh, not here, but inside the input inside the input. Okay, here. Okay, run the test, should be right. Okay, 86%. Go. Check the radio buttons and checkbox by default. Okay, you can set a checkbox of a radio button to be checked by default using the check attribute. To do this, just add the word check to the inside of an input element. For example, input type radio name test name check. Okay, set the first of your radio buttons and the first of your checkbox to both be check default. Okay, the first radio button, type radio. Okay, input type radio button, check. Okay, input type checkbox, this should be check. Check. Okay, the result will be like this. Okay, it is check, but it is not check. The first check it, not inside the label but inside the input checkbox value loving check. Okay, this is the example, the default value. We can add the default value for our input for checkbox or the button, should be right. Okay, 98%. You can pause this first. Okay, we continue our study, our lesson. There's many elements within a single div element. The div element, also known as a division element, is a general purpose container for the other elements. Okay, container div element is a container general container for other elements. The div element is probably the most commonly used HTML element of all. Okay, just like any other non-self-closing element, you can open a div element with div and close it on another line with slash div. Next, your things get love and top 3 things that hate list all within a single div element. Hint, try putting your opening div tag above your things get love p element and your closing div tag after your closing ol tag so that both of your lists are within one div. Okay. Next, your things get love. Top 3 things get top 3 list all within a single div. Okay. Div single div slash div. Okay, just like this. Okay, run. Go to the next line. 93%. Okay, declare the doc type on HTML document. The challenge so far have covered specific HTML element and their use. However, there are a few elements that give overall structure to your page and should be included in every HTML document. At the top of your document, you need to tell the browser which version of HTML your page is using. HTML is an evolving language, okay, and is updated regularly. Most major browsers support the latest specification, which is HTML5. However, older web pages may use previous version of the language. You tell the browser this information by adding doctype tag on the first line where the blah 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 is version HTML. For HTML5, you use doctype HTML. The quote the exclamation mark and uppercase doctype is important, especially for older browser. The HTML is not case sensitive. Okay, you can write it doctype using lowercase. Next, the rest of your HTML code needs to be wrapped in HTML text. The opening HTML goes directly below the doctype HTML a line, and the closing HTML goes to the end of the page. Here is an example of the page structure. Your HTML code would go in the space between the two HTML tags. Okay, this is the page structure. This is for the HTML version, HTML5, doctype, open with HTML and close with slash HTML. Add a doctype tag for HTML to the top of the blank HTML document in the code editor. Under it, add opening and closing HTML tags which wrap around each one element. Heading element 1. The heading can include text. Okay. Okay. Doctype HTML save closing element HTML close with slash HTML and the element is H1 heading 1. This is HTML file document. Okay, test. Yes, of course, it's right. Define the head and body of an HTML document. You can add another level of organization in your HTML document within the HTML tags with the head and body elements. Any markup with information about your page would go into head. Then any markup within the content information of the web is in the head, and the content what display for user would go into the body tag. So metadata elements such as link, meta, title, style typically go inside the head element. Here's an example of page layout. So this is the type of document, HTML5. Open with HTML, close with /HTML, and the first element is head. This is for the information of the document, information about our page. We can the link, metadata, meta, title, style, we can add inside the head tag, head element. For the content, we can add inside the body element. Okay, here is an example. The challenge is edit the markup so there is a head and body. Edit the markup. Okay, edit the markup. Okay, so there is a head and body. The head element should include title, and the body should include heading 1 and paragraph. Okay, head, title is head, information of our page, /head, and the content display in the web browser should be inside the body element. Okay, close with /body. Yes, of course it is right. Okay, 100%. Nicely done. You just complete basic HTML and HTML5. Become a monthly supporter of your nonprofit. Okay, this is for the first challenge, basic HTML. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.